And then we've got to get off and onto the other.
Don't even go into it with us. Don't panic. You deal with it when it happens.
I could look like one of those grey seals.
Yeah? I'll fall in, yeah.
I think I'll just roll over.
Hello YouTubers, Paul here, your channel host. Welcome to my channel. Well, at the moment, just on Holy Island. Had a trip out on Ocean Explorer, which is just coming in now, just to pick us up. We've had 2 hours on the island here. And Ocean Explorer is just in the background there, just heading in to pick us up. And then we're going to go back down the coast and go via the Farne Islands. So, see if I can vlog when I'm out there. So, see you in a bit, YouTubers.
I'm ready now, you can carry on. Stop now. I finished faffing around.
Your husband hasn't got his on.
No, he's decided he likes to drown.
Oh, it's
I get better insurance if he's not here.
Everybody done one of our tours before?
Never.
Yeah.
Nobody?
Oh yes, yeah, we have. Yeah.
So there's people that haven't done it. So
I did it this morning, but I'm
there's
not.
there's lighthouse history. If you haven't done it before, I'll tell you about it. If you've done it all before, we're just a bit boring, maybe.
Yeah, you're right.
But anyway, if you haven't heard it before, I'll tell you. This lighthouse, Longstone, on left hand side, built 1825. Ran for 164 years until 1990. Turned automatic. It was running on diesel power until last year. It's now solar powered. Runs on the rays of the sun. The Darling family was the first lighthouse keepers there. Grace and her father, made famous by the rescue of the survivors of the Forfarshire. The top window in the white band was Grace Darling's bedroom window. Early hours of 7th of September 1838, she looked directly in this direction. The point of rock on our right, she saw the lights of the wrecked Forfarshire. Luxury paddle steamer bound from Hull to Dundee, 25 miles north of the island, a boiler burst. Started to drift south in heavy seas. It was a dual-purpose vessel. It also carried sails. Captain hoisted the sails and sailed south. But he mistook the Longstone lighthouse for Inner Farne and struck this point of rock in front of us, breaking in two. 9 survivors managed to scramble onto Big Arched Island and took shelter on the highest point on the south side. Another 9 survivors took to the ship's lifeboat, drifted south. When conditions were suitable, they launched a little rowing boat at the base of the lighthouse, rowed to the south of the island, two trips to rescue the 9 survivors. The other 9 survivors picked up the next day further south. 43 other people perished when the ship took to the seabed. Only 22 when she made the rescue. She died 4 years later, probably from tuberculosis. Buried in Bamborough Churchyard, opposite the Grace Darling Museum in the village of Bamborough. Remains of the vessel on the point of rock on the seabed, but mainly made of wood. Hardly anything left of it, but one of her anchors was raised is on the village green at Peatnell. There's a few places we can take a look at Great Atlantic seals. There's some just on our right hand side, a little bit of tide going through there. Just have a quick look here, then we'll go further around to the south of the island, see if we can find any juvenile ones. These are the Grey Atlantic seal, colony of around 5,000 on the islands now, although you'll never see them all together, spread out or out at sea feeding. There's just a bit of a strong tide where we are, so I'll just cruise by them. We're looking to the sun, which is ideal. Grey speckledy chest ones are the adult females. Any black ones, big heads, thick necks, those are the bull seals. They can weigh 600 or 700 pounds. Rise a little bit.
Oh my goodness.
These are mainly all adult females. Pull themselves out as the tide starts to drop. Try to remain there all day until the tide comes back in the street. Quite lazy. And then when the tide's in, they can sleep on the seabed. Reduce the heart rate down to 2-3 beats a minute. Find a sheltered sandy bottom or a rock crevice. Stay there for about 25 minutes before it needs to leave again. So now right outside here, see the pond. See where there's some more. There's just one or two dotted about. I think a lot's out feeding or further out. What we want to find is the young ones. Are the most curious. So they give birth in the autumn, late October through December. Last few years has been over 2,000 pups born each year. Bright white furry coat. Mother's milks, bright white furry coat weigh about 20 pounds. Putting 2 or 3 pounds a day. The mother's milk's 50% fat. After 6 weeks, fully weaned and left to look after itself. Cow seal will choose the islands with some shingle beaches or vegetation to haul herself out. It's important that she keeps the newborn up away from the water's edge, because they can't swim when they're young. I'm hoping there's some more on the corner. It's a bit sparse at the moment. That's been for a few days.
There they go.
popular scuba divers, snorkelers. You know, we also take wild water swimmers. Friendly, come right up to you, particularly in the breeding season. The young females that haven't bred before, they see a dive as a potential mate. So you can get your fins nibbled, arms and legs got hold of. Tickle them under the chin. They're just like Labradors, but without ears. These are juveniles here, probably around about 3 years old. Some of them maybe 3 or 4 years old. As soon as the divers drop in, the young will come straight across to them. Like playing with you. Now the birds, just heading to this gully. Penguin looking like birds on the rocks and also on the water, and guillemots, chocolate brown back with white fronts, up to around 60,000 now at the peak of the season, but a good at least 50% of them already departed. They don't build a nest, they lay a hard shell, turquoise coloured egg, shaped like a pear, directly onto the rock. Shape's pointed, so if it's knocked, it spins round. On the evening of a high tide, there's a mass fledge of the chicks. They can actually fly. The male, the parents go onto the water. They've got a raucous call, encouraging the chick to jump. As soon as it gets into the water, the male looks after it, heads it out into the sea, away from the islands and the marauding gulls. The chick's got a very loud chirp and whistle. When the parent surfaces from fishing, feeding, you can find the chick again. We're going to head into this gull in here. We've got kittiwakes in here. They're a noisy gull. They're a natural sea gull. Everything they get is from the sea. Unlike the menacing herring gulls which pinch your chips and ice cream. And unfortunately chicks. So population's around 60,000 now. It has been increasing. Sorry?
Black ones are common, so they?
No, they're shags. When we get in here, it'll be quite raucous with the noise of the kittiwakes. You're going to see some chicks there. Keep your eye out for a guillemot chick, or the chirp and whistle from them. The tide's quite low. You can see where the high water mark is. It's about a couple of metres at least higher up. Some of the kittiwakes nest very close to the water. Any rough weather, big swells crashing in, they would have taken away the lower nest, but luckily we've had a good season of calm seas. Come the end of this month, next week or two, all this rocks will be completely bare of birds, all departed. Anything from 125,000 to 250,000 each year. We'll go right in here now. Right in front of us, at 1 o'clock higher up, you've got a shag's nest. The brown ones are the young chicks panting in the sun. They look black, they're actually bottle green in colour. I can see a little guillemot chick right in front of us. That's vulnerable from a gull, is that? Really low down, it's hiding there. It's trying to, that's very vulnerable for a gull, is that one. Right in front of us. Parent birds are nowhere to be seen. Can you see it?
This one.
That's, without his protection of his parents, that is very vulnerable. That's a guillemot chick. We're very, very small. sheds that are above us there. It's black, it's a bottle green colour. Relative of the cormorants, the cormorants are 3 times bigger. The shags will live around the islands all year long. The cormorants will head back into the rivers and estuaries once they're finished breeding. They breed away from the other seabirds on 1 or 2 of the other islands. I'm going to back away from that ship because it needs its parent need it. Another 1 or 2 villages in going.
Calm down, calm down. Get my hat. Yeah, just in case, yeah. I've got you.
You may think that's the largest single species in numbers on the islands, but that's eclipsed by the puffin. 38,000 pairs. You don't see as many of those. The grassy banks in front of us, that's where they nest. They dig like a rabbit burrow, about 1 metre long in the peaty soil, lay a single white egg, incubate the egg for 40 days. It's another 40 days before the chick fledges under the cover of darkness. So they're either in the burrow, out at sea, or they congregate on little take-off areas. They've got very short wings. Might see some on the water. There's a few being flying around.
But they beat their wings very, very fast, don't they, when they're flying?
The population's been as low as 25 and as high as 65,000. Quite reasonable. 38 is a puffin just on the water on our left-hand side at 11 o'clock to us.
There.
Yes.
Just here on the left.
Yes.
These are true seabird. Once they've departed these islands, they'll head out into the sea, make their way around the north of Scotland, out into the North Atlantic, where they'll spend the whole of winter bobbing about. So this is the only time they actually touch land when they come to breed on these islands. Live for something like 20-25 years. They tend to pair for life and try to use the same burrow. But once they've departed these islands, they won't meet up again until next breeding season. Little colourful bill, it's like a false snail. They'll shed that at the end of the year, left with a small black one. Going in a colourful bill back for next year. Puffin count's done every 5 years. I think we're due another count next year, see how the population is going. Do that by the rangers putting their hand down every one of the 100,000 burrows around the island. They either find it empty, an egg or a sharp beak.
Yeah.
That's why the class as pairs and guillemots, all they can do is count the square metre on the rocks and then multiply it by the area. Lots of kittiwakes, you've got the 2 razorbills up there. Fire guillemot, jet black back, white front, it's sort of laid down inside the guillemot. Guillemots, razorbills and puffins, all members of the auk family. They use their wings to propel themselves underwater. That's why they're so short and they need these rocks to help them take off. Cormorants and shags use their web feet. No, there's normally puffins on the top of here, but it's right up on the very top, it's just a few.
Right very top, isn't it?
Might see some more by Inner Farn when we get there, some puffins. Where the puffins and guillemots, etc., they dive down for them. Guillemot stacks standing away from the island, there's four of them. There's a famous pinnacles, 20 metres high. Peak of the season, there can be 1,500 guillemots nesting on top of there. It's a volcanic rock called Dolerites, part of the bed of rock called Whinstone Sill. Agents Wall, Bamber Castleville, top of it. This is the last place it can be seen before it disappears into the North Sea. 28 islands, rocky outcrops exposed at low water, We reached to 14 high. There's a razor bill on our right, low down. See, it's jet black back and white front. Broad bill with a white flash. Not as many as a guillemot, but I have noticed that the population is increasing each year. So good sign there.
How many birds do you
These
get?
islands have been managed by the National Trust since 1925.
They're waiting for a bus, they say. Video, these are like going for the the Argonauts.
Not for any of these birds, guillemots going into the water, you might see them dive underneath and fly underneath the water. Bit of reflection off the on the sun at the moment.
I'm going to get full in my head in a minute.
The lion's mane jellyfish caught around a piece of kelp on the left-hand side. That will grow to the size of a dustbin lid. Tentacles 6 meters long, and they do sting to those. Get stung divers on the face or any bare skin. Lion's mane jellyfish. No, it's not caught on kelp at all. It's part of its. Part of it. Even when the tentacles are broken off, they can still sting.
Little one there.
You see?
Yes,
Bad as a nettle.
yes, it's okay.
Sounds like a dog, didn't it?
¿Cómo está comido? ¿Cómo está comido?
This stretch of water in front of us is Staple Sound, separates the outer group from the inner group. And across that now, over to the inner farm. Before we depart though, see some of the castles of Northumberland. On the left-hand side, in the far distance, way there is on the coast is Dunstanburgh, ruins of Dunstanburgh Castle near Costa. In front of us, you've got the Bamburgh Castle with the Cheviot showing today in the background. And then over to our right at 2 o'clock, Lindisfarne, where they come from. Going up the coast, you've got Berwick upon Tweed, Eyemouth, St Hab's Head, disappearing up into Scotland. right hand side, largest of the island, 16 acres. Tall stone tower there, Pride Castell's tower, built 1500. That's built over the top of the cellar cave of St Cuthbert. St Aidan was here in the 7th century. St Cuthbert died on the island in 687. Used for defensive purposes, Elizabethan times, Napoleonic wars, and border skirmishes with the Scots. On to National Trust Rangers, 9 months of the year, look after the visitors and the birds. Talking of the birds, this is a famous, infamous island for the Arctic tern.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody who's done a landing here or seen on TV, you don't need to wear a hat. Where the boardwalk is from the jetty up to the chapel, that's where a lot of the terns nest. I think the presence of human beings help to keep the marauding gulls off their eggs. They don't give you any thanks whatsoever. pull and peck you on the head. You don't need to wear a hat.
Yeah.
It does hurt, it can even draw blood. So that's them there, the white birds being very noisy. You might be able to see some flying about here, taking a drink or a bathe in the water.
As long as they don't peck us out here.
We've got white with a forked tail, very thin long wings, like a fighter jet sort of shape, very streamlined. He's got the longest annual migration of any animal on Earth. Some trackers were fitted 2 or 3 years ago when we retrieved. Found it had gone all the way to South Africa, Antarctica and Whittlesea. Excuse me. For 25 to 30 years, went over 2 million miles in its lifetime. Right. That's them there being very noisy. The last of the visitors have just been taken off the island. You can't see them being mobbed. There's also common terns on here, but they look exactly as near as the same as an Arctic tern, and the slightly bigger sandwich tern. They've got a black beak with a yellow tip. You'll see the rangers walking up there, they'll get mobbed. Those aren't naturally white hats they're wearing, they probably started off as brown or green. They're covered in bird poo now.
Worth waiting for that, isn't it? Just to see them get spotted.
See how clean the water is over to our left hand side. You can see the bottom of this area. Chin clear, great for diving and snorkeling. It's colder than the sea further, the North Sea further south. It's part of the North Atlantic current that comes over the north of Scotland. Goes a little bit further south before it heads over to Denmark and Norway. Colder water, full of nutrients, as it can support all this wildlife. From lions and jellyfish, it's on our left hand side. Behind us there.
Oh, yes.
A lot bigger than that. And the tentacles will stretch about 6 metres. These are the Arctic terns.
Wow.
Got breeding eider ducks that nest in the vegetation here. Brown ones are the females. They make themselves into creches, again to try and protect the chicks. Males are sort of black and white, but they've lost most of the breeding plumage at the moment. In a month or so's time they'll have their full plumage back. Very feisty birds. Putting on the water just on our left at 10 o'clock, we'll just head towards them. The 2 chapels there's one on the left with a wood roof. That's the visitor centre. There were 1350 that were built. One on the right, renovated in 1850 by the Bishop of Durham. Wood pews and carvings from Durham Cathedral. The signature of the guy who made them on a little mouse carved in. The nickname was Mousy Thompson. population of rabbits on the island. I'm not sure that there's any anymore. Introduced by the lighthouse keepers
Yeah.
for when they got fed up of eating fish. Money buy.
We saw 2 the other day.
Yeah. Too money.
On the island.
On the island, yeah.
He's sitting there eating his food.
Oh, another pass by the birds around the corner. Maybe some puffins on the water. There was sandwich terns that went over. Slightly bigger there, longer wings.
Yeah.
Got a few puffins on the water here. There's little congregation areas on the rocks. Off they go. Some on the rocks here on the left. They congregate on these little take-off ledges. See the colours there against the dark rock. Just need that little bit of assistance to get them going.
Yeah. They have a jump, don't they? Jump.
In the Farn Lighthouse there, 1809, built the same time as the Brownsman. One of the lighthouse keepers' cottages there, the other 2 were demolished. Again, that's automatic, solar powered. Well, that's all about I can show you today, folks. We'll head back to Old Harbour. Just keep an eye out for anything special still. Never know.
We want everything in focus.
25 miles on a strip round today, folks.
What sort of speed were we doing?
We were just going from Holy Island across the island, just under 40.
Right, knots. Or
Yeah.
yes.
We'll go quite a bit faster, but I don't want to fire anybody up in the air.
See where it goes up.
Got to get up one of them dinghies in there.
Hello YouTubers, Paul here, your channel host, welcome to my channel. Well, as you can probably see, just on the ocean exploring, just coming back into harbour, and as you can probably see on some of the vlogs, some of the videos to the right of this one or below this one, you'll see what there it came in pretty quick there, and also came out via the islands. Hope you enjoy them, and yeah, see you later YouTubers.